Hi, everybody. Dr. Loredana here. Today, we're going to talk about why, how, and when to test your blood sugar and what are some goal numbers to look at. So let's talk about what is blood sugar. So when you test your blood sugar at the time of using a test right in front of you, it is telling you how much sugar is in your blood at that given moment of testing. So, why should you test your blood sugar? Well, we typically think of diabetics who test their blood sugar, and we use this as a management tool to see how well are they doing with their blood sugars? Do they need to make adjustments to their medication? So, it's a way for disease management. But for people who don't have diabetes, it is still important for you to test your blood sugar. Okay, this is going to start to cue in for you. Is your body having trouble handling sugar? Are your numbers higher? You can catch disease as it progresses before it gets there. And another thing, too, is this allows you to individualize what works for you. What foods cause your blood sugar to spike really high? These are the foods that we absolutely want to avoid. This is where we get the subsequent high blood sugars, and all of a sudden we have a super low blood sugar. This is where we experience irritability, brain fog, anxiety, cravings. This causes issues in how we live day to day, and it ultimately affects our stress and our hormonal levels. So, being able to individualize your diet for you is amazing. And these are the testing tools that work for you. So let's talk about how to test your blood sugar. Okay. So we've seen the original finger stick devices. Okay. You take a lancet, you prick your finger, you put your blood on a test strip. It gives you a reading right then and there. Okay. That is one way to do it. Now they're coming out with something called continuous glucose monitors. Okay. These are the ones that you stick to the back of your arm. It's Bluetooth connected to your cell phone. And whenever you want to check your blood sugar, you could just put it up to your phone and boom, you can collect your number. And it gives you this nice graph of continuous blood sugar measurements. Now, what this will tell you is what are the things that you are eating and how does it impact your blood sugar? So it's normal that when we eat certain foods, our blood sugar will go up. That's normal. Carbohydrates will do that, whether it's from nature or from a candy bar, and proteins can do that as well. So know that it is normal for your blood sugar to go up, but we want to avoid the super high spikes. So the next question becomes, when do we test our blood sugar? So let's talk about when to test blood sugar and what the goals are. The first thing you want to do is you want to understand what is your blood sugar when you first wake up. This is without any food. Your ideal number that your blood sugar wants to be at is between 60 and 90. That is ideal. That's where we want you to stay and when you're not eating. Now, after you eat a meal, another good time to test is absolutely, if you're curious, say you eat a food and you want to know, does this food really spike my blood sugar? You're going to want to test it 30 minutes later, 1 hour later, and then finally 2 hours later. We want this number, the 2 hour mark, at any point in time in between the 2 hours of eating a meal to testing. Okay, when you finish your last bite, we want this to be below 120. Okay. Your average blood sugar level throughout the entire day, eating and not eating, should be an average of 95 or below. The continuous glucose monitor will give you averages on your daily. That's why I really like the continuous, because it's measuring it 24/7. Okay. So know that, say you are curious, I want to know if coffee affects my blood sugar. Everybody's different. You are going to test your blood sugar before you drink your coffee. You're going to drink your coffee, and then you're going to test your blood a half hour later. What is your blood sugar level? If your blood sugar has gone up, then that means that sugar increases your blood sugar. You test it again an hour later, and then 2 hours later, right? You cannot be eating or drinking anything else at this point because you're singularly trying to study coffee. So make sure that you're controlling the experiment and not having too many variables coming in and messing things up. So it becomes tedious to have to prick your finger 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. So it's strongly recommended to do the continuous glucose monitoring. I had a patient who monitored with a continuous glucose monitor for 3 months. And just by watching how her blood sugar spiked, she was able to lose 10 pounds by avoiding those foods. That was it. Another thing she noticed is that when she felt brain fog, when she felt tired, when she felt she checked her blood sugar. And when she looked at the pattern, she found that her blood sugar would drop too low. Okay. because when we have a subsequently high spike, our body is going to respond with the next lowest spike. And it was always at that low point that it went too low and she didn't feel very well. So monitoring your blood sugar is absolutely the most powerful thing. So let's review. Best time to test is in the morning. Whenever you are not eating anything, which is usually first thing in the morning, your blood sugar should be between 60 and 90. If you go to the American Diabetic Situation, the Diabetics and Diabetes Association, they're going to give you different numbers. Those don't count for you if you don't have diabetes, okay? We want to have a tighter control when we're non-diabetic. These are considered functional and integrative values that we want to aim for to get optimal health, okay? So again, fasting, no food between 60 and 90. Within 2 hours of eating your meal, at any point in time when you check after you eat that meal, we want it to be below 120. Okay. We don't want shifts more than 30. Okay. So if you're usually around 90, 120, that's 30. That's a number of 30 of a difference. Okay. So within 2 hours of a meal, less than 120. And then on average, if you have a continuous glucose monitor and you're checking it 24 hours a day, your average should be 95 or below. That is where we want to be. That is the goal. Okay. Now let's talk about blood testing. This is different. There's 3 different numbers that you can pull when you go to the doctor and you order a blood test. So first is fasting glucose, right? You'll see this on your lab work. This is the same thing as pricking your blood sugar in the morning with nothing to eat. That's the fasting level. It's just a different way to measure it. So that's the same number. Okay. Now, the next test that you could ask your doctor to pull is called a hemoglobin A1C. This value comes as a percentage. This is the percentage of red blood cells that are bound to sugar. Unfortunately, sugar is sticky. Anything it touches, it's going to attach onto it. So we want this number, again, functional and integrative optimal levels. We want this number below 4.5. That's low. If you go to your doctor, he's going to be happy to see it under 5.6 is the value. That's normal. Okay. But again, functional and optimal, we want it to be lower. Now, that is what you want your A1C to be. So pull that test next time you go to your doctor, even if you don't have diabetes. We want to understand. The A1C is beautiful because it gives us a 3 to 4 month average of what your blood sugar is, okay? Because your red blood cells live for about 3 to 4 months and then they get replaced with new ones. So this is a snapshot of history of 3 to 4 months in time collecting this A1C number. Now, another number that I want you to ask your doctor, which is not common and typically not pulled, is called a fasting insulin number. We want to know, what is your insulin at any given point in time? We want this number below 4. Optimally, we want it below 2. This is telling us at any given time how much insulin is floating through your blood. And insulin is a marker of disease. It causes inflammation. It causes growth. It can also tell us what's going on with insulin resistance. If you always have it floating around, it's not going to work as well because it's just always there. And the cells become numb to the signal. Okay, so again, we got your fasting glucose. We want that between 60 and 90. Your A1C, we want below 4.5%. And your fasting insulin to be optimal, we want it below 2, but we will accept below 4 in integrative functional terms. So let me know if you are going to test your blood sugar. Please comment below about the research that you're uncovering and finding out. This is lifelong information. If you've never tested your blood sugar before, I strongly recommend that you buy a continuous glucose monitor and do it for 3 months. Make the investment into your health because you're going to learn a ton about how food individually affects you. And long-term optimal health is about avoiding those huge sugar spikes and sugar drops. We want to be nice and steady all day long. Thanks for tuning in. If you like the content that you heard in this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and share with somebody who you think can benefit from this information. And if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, I do offer virtual and in-person coaching in my office here in Newtown, Pennsylvania, or I also do holistic health group coaching in a private Facebook group. So please check out my website, lifemodsolutions.com, to learn more and to download some freebies like my belly bloating fixer elixir. So check it out. Thanks for tuning in.